It's Thursday night. Say yeah for it's another edition of Strictly Sports College Football Thursday. Hello, friends. Anthony Floyer here with you for another edition of Strictly Sports College Football Thursday. Glad to have you with us. Joined by Michael Bullock. I don't know if good old MF Michael Fletcher is going to be joining us or not. If he comes in, we'll catch him up on what he missed. But if not, then hopefully we'll see him tomorrow night on Friday. So no no top 25 action tonight or tomorrow for to get into this week. All our action is going to be on Saturday, and yeah, so Michael Bullock, I'm going to put in a request here. I'm going to put in a request that we kind of go somewhat of rapid fire this evening because we've got a lot going on right now. So let's try to get this in, as quickly as we can. And if we can, that would be great. So, yeah, so week 6 is upon us already. I mean, I cannot believe it's already here, but crazy how time flies by so quick. So with all that being said, let's we're gonna get into our action here tonight. Three headline games this week. I mean, of course, one of them is going to be in our opening window here in just a matter of minutes. So, yep. So just bear with me for a minute. I'm just unloading. I mean, I have, like I said, I've got a lot going on right now. So, I just have a couple more things I need to get uploaded real quick, and then we'll dive into our actions. So, okay, I think I have everything I need. So, let's dive into our first matchup of the week, which is a high noon kickoff on ESPN. We have the number 1 team in the land, your reigning and defending undisputed national champion Alabama Crimson Tide, squaring off against the Arkansas Razorbacks at Donald W. Reynolds Razorback Stadium over in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Hold on a minute. Yep, that is where we're going to be. This game's over. We'll be over on ESPN, and we have Dave Patch, Greg McElroy, and Tom Luganbill on the call. And Alabama, a 35 to 36 point favorite. I cannot say I'm surprised in the least by that. So, Alabama has dropped 4 straight games, or I should say Arkansas has dropped 4 straight games and ranks 103rd in scoring offense. Alabama's the number 1 team in the country. Let's not kid ourselves. Bama all day, 56 to 10. Bullet go.
Yeah, Alabama all the way. So nothing more to say. Let's just move right along to our next game.
And Bullock, you're going to be leading off the game of the week. Go figure. High noon on Fox, the Red River rivalry. The number 7 Oklahoma Sooners squaring off against the number 19 Texas Longhorns in the Cotton Bowl. This is on Fox, and a game of this magnitude, of course, Fox's A team is going to be there. Gus Johnson, Joel Klatt, the All-American girl, Jenny Taft. They'll be there. And Oklahoma opening up as 7.5 point favorites. So, so Bullock, I mean, Red River rivalry, because of the history, prestige of this rivalry, I think it's only fitting that we should call this the game of the week, even though there are 2 other good ones.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you definitely have to say this is the game of the week. I mean, because of the history, I mean, with this being the Red River rivalry, and yeah, I mean, what can you say about Texas with the way they played? They played so well, they moved to number 19. And, of course, Oklahoma with the way they played. And this is the 113th meeting of these two in this Red River rivalry. I mean, can you believe that?
That's amazing.
I mean, like I said, I mean, we've seen so many great players play in this great in this great rivalry, and this series began back in 1900, and I mean, this is just this is going to be a fun game, no doubt about it. But it's a tough one. But I have to go with the Oklahoma Sooners in this one. I think they're the better team. Texas, I think, will definitely give them some fits here. But in the end, it's Boomer Sooner. I'm gonna say 31-24 is gonna be my final score. Florio, what can you say? I mean, another chapter is about to be written in the Red River rivalry.
Oh yes. Well, unmute your mic there, Bullock, and try to get the feedback out of there. For the first time since 2012, this rivalry features a pair of top 25 teams. Oklahoma still dropped 2 of those 5 matchups as the only ranked program involved, and a feisty Texas defense will be tough to overcome on Saturday. But I'm still leaning on Oklahoma quarterback Kyler Murray, especially after his career best showing last week. 432 yards, 6 touchdowns, a rushing touchdown, 45 yards on the ground. Nothing more to say. I got Oklahoma winning. It's going to be a 5-star classic, Shakespearean drama at its finest, no doubt about it. So I'm going with Oklahoma to win. My final score, 38-31, Oklahoma over Texas. I got a feeling, if all goes well, this could go down as one of the greatest Red River rivalry games of all time. So that's going to be fun to watch. Out of all the high noon games, this is the one I'm going to have the most vested interest in, without a doubt. So nothing more to say on that. Let's move on. Another high noon kickoff. We have the number 9 West Virginia Mountaineers hosting the Kansas Jayhawks. High noon on ESPN2, Mountaineer Field at Milan Puskar Stadium. We have Anish Shroff and Ahmad Brooks, along with Roddy Jones on the call. And West Virginia opening up as 28 to 28.5 point favorites. Over the last 2 weekends, Kansas has surrendered 569 yards and 7 touchdowns through the air. Mountaineers quarterback Will Grier is averaging 10.9 yards per pass attempt. West Virginia should have no issues improving to 3-0 in Big 12 action. West Virginia wins big. My final score, 48-17. Nothing more to say. Bullock, West Virginia hosting Kansas. Real quick.
Yeah, West Virginia, they're going to have no problem with Kansas. My final score, I'm going to say 48-14 is going to be my final score. So nothing more to say. Move on to the next game.
Another high noon game, and it's only fitting you start this one off, Bullock. It's one of your teams, the number 15 Michigan Wolverines, in the Big House at Michigan Stadium in Ann Arbor. They're going to be hosting the Maryland Terrapins. High noon on ABC. Steve Levy, Brian Greasy, Todd McShay on the call. And it is Michigan opening up as 17.5 point favorites. So, Bullock, I mean, if it wasn't for that tough luck loss to Notre Dame on opening week, we'd be talking about Michigan being 5-0 and perhaps way up in the polls, perhaps top 10 worthy.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And, Michigan, I mean, they're coming off a closer than expected win over Northwestern last week. I mean, they had to rally from a 17-point deficit to win. And, yeah, they face a stern test against this Maryland team. And, yeah, Maryland, I mean, they've been a pleasant surprise so far this season, despite all the negatives that's been surrounding the program at the start of the year. We don't need to get into that. Yeah, so, but in the end, I think it's going to be Michigan winning in the Big House. I'm going to say my final score is going to be 31-17. So nothing more to say. Flory, what's yours?
Michigan hasn't consistently started strong in the first quarter, so nothing is guaranteed with Jim Harbaugh's team. However, the Wolverines are nearly impossible to run successfully against, and the Terrapins' number 122 passing game does not pose much of a threat. I got Michigan winning as well. I got it a little more higher scoring and a little more beatdownish than you do, Bullock. 38-13. I got Michigan rolling over Maryland. So nothing more to say. Let's move on to our final high noon game. The number 20 Michigan State Spartans at home at Spartan Stadium in East Lansing. They're going to be hosting the team that took Michigan to the limit last week and then some, Northwestern, the Wildcats of Northwestern. High noon on Fox Sports 1. Tim Brando, Spencer Tillman, Holly Saunders on the call. And it is Michigan State opening up as 10-point favorites. And, through 1 month, neither offense is performing well. On the bright side for Michigan State, its number one run defense has continued to play at an elite level. The Spartans should pull out a low-scoring slugfest at home, barring an explosive game from Northwestern quarterback Clayton Thorson. So I got Michigan State winning this one. My final score, 27-20, Michigan State over Northwestern. So, Bullock, we saw Northwestern take your Michigan to the limit last week, had them down 17-0, and then they choked it away. But this time they're going on the road to East Lansing against a very good Michigan State team. I don't see them taking them to the limit.
Yeah, I don't see them taking this Michigan State team to the limit this time. So I'm just going to say Michigan State will win this one. My final score is going to be, I'm going to go 28 to 14 is going to be my final score. So nothing more to say. Now let's move on to what I think is, it's a 12:30 game.
Yes, it is a 12:30 game. And it's your other team.
It's another one of my teams.
Yes, it is. You have two favorite teams. We all have two favorite teams. MF's two favorites are Michigan and Miami, for you. For me, it's Notre Dame and Boise State. And for you, Bullock, it's Michigan and the team we're about to get into. Not this particular team. The number 23 North Carolina State Wolfpack at home at Wayne Day Family Field at Carter Finley Stadium. And they're going to be squaring off against your Boston College Eagles, Bullock. 12:30 kickoff. I'm trying to... Okay, this will be on the ACC, one of those ACC networks. Check your local listings for the time and channel in your area. Wes Durham and James Bates on the call. If there's a sideline reporter, I apologize for missing whoever that is. NC State opening up as a 6-point favorite. So Bullock, Boston College, they had that bad loss at Purdue, but they bounced back with a nice win over Temple last week. Can they go into NC State and pull an upset? Can they steal one in Raleigh? Well,
that's gonna be a tough thing for them because NC State is. This is a team that's going to be looking for its first 5-0 start since 2002. So, and that would go well for them heading into an open date before a big showdown with number 4 Clemson. So, yeah. So, and BC with what they did against Temple and led by running back A.J. Dillon. So, it's a tough one, but I'm going to have to go with the NC State Wolfpack to win this one. Go to 5-0. I'm going to say 31-24 is going to be my final score. So with that being said, Florio, I give it to you. And we got Fletch.
Good. I'm glad to see that. MF, we'll catch MF up in just a minute. I want to give my thoughts on this game quickly. This is the prove-it game for Boston College, which bounced back from a beatdown at Purdue, yet still surrendered 35 points in a win over Temple. Pulling off the upset will require thriving against a stout NC State run defense. But star running back A.J. Dillon has a leg injury, and his status is unclear. Without him at full speed, BC will fall short. So I got NC State winning that game by a score of 33-23. So MF, come on in. We're going to catch you up here. Starting you off, it's not often we catch MF up. It's usually Bullock we're catching up, but this time it's one of those rare times we're catching MF up. But MF, here we go. Number 1, Alabama against Arkansas.
Bama.
Red River rivalry, game of the week. We talked about it. Texas and Oklahoma.
I'm going to go for the upset. I'm going to go for Texas to beat Oklahoma.
Yeah, you've if you haven't been watching our show over the last few weeks, folks, MF, you can't go 1 week without calling at least one upset special. But then again, I'm sure there's going to be more coming. But anywho, Number 9, West Virginia at home against Kansas.
West Virginia, easy.
Your Michigan Wolverines, number 15. They're going to be hosting Maryland in the Big House.
Michigan should win, but closer than what the experts have it.
Fair enough. Number 20, Michigan State at home against Northwestern, the team that took your Michigan to the limit and then some last week.
I'm calling for the upset. I think Northwestern wins.
Wow. All right. And the game that we just, that Bullock and I just talked about, number 23, NC State at home against Boston College.
I'm going to go with NC State to win, but I do believe Boston College is going to turn that into a fight, but I do believe that NC State should have enough and should be able to nail it down and get the victory.
All right, fair enough. And MF is all caught up, so now let's continue on, and I'll lead off on this next matchup since Bullock had the last one. We're going to get into our 3:30 kickoffs, and we're going to start it off on ESPN. The number 4 Clemson Tigers squaring off against the Wake Forest Demon Deacons at BB&T Field, smallest stadium out of all the major teams there. This is going to be on ESPN. We have Beth Mowins with Anthony Becht and Rocky Boyman on the call. And it is Clemson opening up as 20 to 20.5 point favorites. Can't say I'm surprised by that spread. So, although quarterback Trevor Lawrence's head/neck injury is cause for concern, Clemson should dispatch Wake Forest without much trouble if he's available as expected. The Demon Deacons have surrendered at least 5 yards a carry in 3 straight games. So I'm going with Clemson to win, but closer than the experts have it. 42 to 27, Clemson over Wake Forest. Nothing more to say. MF, Clemson going into Wake Forest, the smallest stadium out of all the major college stadiums in this great sport.
Anthony, I totally do agree here. I think Clemson's going to win the game as well. It's going to be a little more closer than what the experts have it. Nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, gets yours.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Clemson as well. I mean, like you said, well, the thing is, I got to go with Clemson. My final score, I'm going to go 38 to 20 is going to be my final score. So let's just move right along.
We move on to our number 2 game of the week, the game that comes in at number 2 on our totem pole here. It's the SEC on CBS. The number 5 LSU Tigers squaring off against the number 22 Florida Gators at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium in Gainesville, Florida. You know who's working this one. Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson, Jamie Erdahl. They will be in Gainesville for this one. LSU opening up as 2 to 3 point favorites. MF, we know LSU. LSU's been rolling. They had that big win at Auburn some time ago. But Florida has slowly but surely crawled back up the rankings now. And because of this, MF, LSU and Florida, with all the history with these two, this comes in at number 2. It would have been number 1 if not for the Red River rivalry. So, MF, it's only fitting. LSU and Florida, I got a feeling this could be a defensive slugfest. Your specialty.
Is it in any other year? I would say defensive slugfest, but I do believe that this is going to be a great battle, a great fight. This is going to be a scrappy war, guys. So get ready. This is going to be all kinds of fun, hella fun to say the very least. At the end of the day, we'll wait and see what happens. But no, I think LSU is definitely the better team, even though Florida is definitely back and they're making a big run here. I think LSU, especially after the way that they handled Miami at Jerry World, really opened my eyes. And then, yes, that big win over Auburn, how they came back. I think LSU, didn't they beat Auburn, or was it the other way around?
No, LSU came back from 11 down to win.
Okay, so I was right. I'm sorry. I kind of got a little sidetracked for the moment, but I do believe LSU should win this game. It's going to be close, like a 17-14 affair. I don't think it's going to be high scoring, but it's going to be it's not going to be total defensive struggle either. I think it's going to be like in between. Nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, this is going to be a really close one, and this Florida team. I don't think LSU should take lightly. I mean, especially when you go into the swamp, and that's a tough place to play, no doubt about it. So I'm going to say LSU wins, but I'm going to go 20-17 is going to be my final score. That's how close I think it's going to be. So, Florida, what's yours?
It's not often I do this, but I'm going to pull a Michael Fletcher here. I'm calling for the upset here. I'm going with Florida. Hear me out on this. Yes, that dismal defensive showing at Kentucky lingers, but Florida has dominated since that Week 2 loss with only 2.6 yards allowed to carry. Should that continue and at home, it should, LSU must escape the swamp on the arm of Joe Burrow. Consider me skeptical despite LSU's undeniable defensive strengths. So I don't often do this, but I'm pulling a Michael Fletcher on this. I'm calling for the upset. I'm going with Florida, 20-16. That's my final score. And now we're going to move on to easily the number 4 game of the week because of the history of these two. This is a Michael Fletcher special, without a doubt. And I can't wait to hear what he has to say about this one. The number 17 Miami Hurricanes at home, Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, hosting the Florida State Seminoles, 3:30 on ABC. Bob Wischusen, Brock Huard, Allison Williams on the call. And it is, just looking for the spread here. Miami opening up as 13.5 to 14-point favorites. So Bullock, I'm going to save my usual stuff for MF because this is his rivalry right here. So, but nonetheless, Bullock, there's a lot of history with Florida State and Miami at the Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. I know it's been a hard times year for Florida State, but the U, they've bounced back since that embarrassing loss to LSU Labor Day weekend. So, Michael Bullock, come on in. We're going to start you off with this one. Florida State in Miami, the history of it. Number 4 game of the week, easily.
Yeah, a lot of history when it comes to these two teams from Florida. And usually when these two teams face each other, it's usually with national championship implications. But, well, Miami, we still got to wait and see. But we know it's definitely been a hard times year for Florida State. So, yeah, so to me, I'm going to go with the U, Miami, to win this one. I'm going to say my final score will be, I'm going to say 28 to 13 is going to be my final score. So, yeah, nothing more to say. Florio, it's yours. I think the hard times is going to continue for Florida State.
Yeah, I agree. Rivalry games are never easy. Given the dismal play of Florida State's offensive line, though, it would be a disaster if Miami didn't win at home. The Hurricanes lead the nation in tackles for loss and should overpower the Noles. But if Miami can't break off a couple of explosive runs, things will get interesting. But nonetheless, Bullock, I agree with you. I got Miami winning this one. Closer than people think. I think Florida State will, push Miami to the limit, but I think Miami will escape. I say the U will win it 27-20. There's nothing more to say. I got to give it to the man who knows this rivalry better than you and I, Bullock. And that's MF. In all your years, you have seen countless Florida State Miami games.
Oh, yeah.
Big question. Are we going to get a wide right, a wide left, or what?
I don't think it's going to come down to a wide right or a wide left. I think it's going to be a straight victory for the Miami Hurricanes. Look, you talk about the best rivalries in college football, and there's a Mount Rushmore of battles that we could go on for days. One we can talk about, which is, USC and Notre Dame, Michigan and Ohio State, Miami and Florida State. And this rivalry, let me tell you, folks, this is one of those top 10 games. This is one of those games that, this is no doubt a war, a battle. It's going to be a battle of attrition. Who's going to be the last man standing? We'll find out. But I think Miami should win this one. And I'm agreeing with Michael Bullock. I think it's going to be at least maybe a 10 to 15, a 10 to 17 point spread. So I think it's going to be one of those games where, Miami will probably try to establish early. Florida State will hang in there, but because it's in Miami at the Hard Rock, the fans should definitely get behind, and they rally around the Hurricanes really well in this game. And I could see a moment where, yes, I do believe a turnover chain could be imminent in the game, so we'll go from there. Nothing more to say. Miami wins. And, Mike, back to you, Anthony.
Yes. If we're going to talk about a Mount Rushmore rivalries, you named 3. I'm going to add one more to it. I agree with your other 3 on that. USC, Notre Dame, Florida State, Miami, Michigan, Ohio State.
And, of course, the Red River rivalry. You got to add that, too. Yeah.
Thank you very much. That's the one I was thinking about. I great minds think alike. I knew you'd add that in there. So, yep, that is exactly the one I was thinking about closing that out. But that might be a show for another day. But for right now, let's get back to the action here. Let's try to pick it up a little bit here, guys. 3:30 on ESPN2, we have the number 25 Oklahoma State Cowboys, Boone Pickens Stadium in Stillwater. They're going to be hosting the Cyclones of Iowa State on ESPN2. We got Jason Benetti and Kelly Stufer. I believe Olivia Decker-Harlan is on the call for that one as well. And just give me a minute here. I'm trying to, I find the spread. Okay, Oklahoma State, 9.5 point favorites. Okay. Okay, Iowa State is not the average sub 500 team. Oklahoma State must be prepared for a major challenge. Poor third down defense has been the Cyclones' downfall, but Oklahoma State is not headed for a blowout. It's going to be a lot closer than people think, but I think Oklahoma State, I should say, will escape. I got Oklahoma State winning this one. Final score 30-24. MF, your thoughts?
I got Oklahoma State as well. It's going to be a close game. Nothing more to say. Mike Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, I got Oklahoma State winning this one. I'm going to say my final score is going to be, I'm going to go 2017 is going to be my final score, so nothing more to say. Let's move on.
We have a 4 o'clock kickoff. This one will be on Fox. The number 3 Ohio State Buckeyes at the Horseshoe Ohio Stadium in Columbus, hosting the upstart Indiana Hoosiers. This one will be over on Fox as well. We have Aaron Goldsmith with Brady Quinn, and I believe Bruce Feldman will be there as well. I do believe Ohio State 26 to 26.5 point favorites. Ohio State. What did I tell you about Ohio State last week? I told you they were going to beat Penn State.
Yeah, kind of a lucky victory, to say the very least. What were they thinking on 4th and 5 and you run the football where Trace McSorley had a great game? Nah, Ohio State wins. Nothing more. Well, it gets yours.
Oh yeah, it's the Ohio State Buckeyes all the way, so I just give it to you, Florio.
Okay. If an upset of this magnitude is to happen, the underdog either needs to have an explosive offense or a dominant defense. Indiana has neither. Ohio State could start slowly after its massive 27-26 win at Penn State, but the Buckeyes are the easy choice, without a doubt. 45-21, Ohio State over Indiana. Nothing more to say here. Let's move on. 4 o'clock kickoff, number 21, Colorado Buffaloes at home at Folsom Field in Boulder, hosting the upstart Arizona State Sun Devils. This one will be on the Pac-12 network. Roxy Bernstein, Anthony Haran, and Lewis Johnson will be on the call for that. And we have Colorado opening up as 2.5 to 3-point favorites. I believe it's Bullock who starts this one off. So Bullock, Arizona State against number 21, Colorado.
Yeah, Colorado. I mean, what can you say about them? They're looking for a 5-0 start and going up against an Arizona State team, of course, coached by Herm Edwards. He's got this team playing good up to this point, and yeah, I think Colorado wins, but I think it's going to be a close one. I'm gonna say 21-17 is going to be my final score. Floria, what's yours?
The Sun Devils lost to both San Diego State and Washington by 7 points on the road. They're headed to face a Colorado defense that, while terrific through 4 games, has not been tested. Arizona can swing the game in its favor if it immediately slows an offense averaging 12.3 first quarter points. I was inclined to go with the upset, but no. I mean, Colorado, they're too good. That stat alone just proves it. Arizona State, that they play some close games, and that's the only reason why I was considering going with Arizona State for the upset. I wouldn't be surprised if they were to steal one here, but I got to go with Colorado. I think they're rolling right now. They're peaking, so I'll take a chance to go with Colorado, even though I would not be surprised if there was an upset here. So 31-28 is my final, Colorado over Arizona State. So MF, Arizona State's, played a couple of tough games. Herm Edwards has his boys playing some halfway decent ball here. Can they steal one here?
Oh, absolutely. They could definitely steal it. I just don't think they are. I think that's the best way to say it. So I'm with you guys as well. I got Colorado winning this game as well. And nothing more to say. Anthony, let's move on.
We move on to the primetime games now, gentlemen. 7 o'clock, we have the number 12 UCF Knights at Spectrum Stadium hosting the Mustangs of SMU. This will be on ESPN University. Kevin Brown and Andre Ware on the call. I don't know who their sideline person is. I don't have that full sheet here, but they're going to be on the call for that one over on ESPNU. And UCF opening up as 24 to 24.5-point favorites. SMU's defense has been decent at home and below average on the road. Most notably, the Mustangs have surrendered 10.1 yards per pass attempt with 6 touchdowns compared to 1 interception away from home. Central Florida quarterback Mackenzie Milton should pick apart the SMU secondary. UCF wins a high-scoring game, 45-28 over SMU. Nothing more to say. I'm at yours.
I agree. UCF wins. They're just explosive. They're explosive on a whole bunch of levels. SMU, I saw them once. They didn't really do anything amazing, at least in my eyes. So nothing more to say. And Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, I got UCF winning as well. Yeah, so there's really nothing more that needs to be said. So let's move on to our next game.
And MF will be starting off on that one. 7 o'clock on ESPN. The number 13 Kentucky Wildcats squaring off against the Texas A&M Aggies at Kyle Field in College Station. This one will be on ESPN. We got Sean McDonough, Todd Blackledge, and Holly Rowe on the call. And believe it or not, Texas A&M opening up as 5.5 to 6-point favorites. MF, what do you make of that? Texas A&M, the favorite, even though they're not ranked and Kentucky is.
Because of the fact that the game's in Texas A&M. You said it was in Kyle Field. That's the home of the 12th man. So obviously this is a huge matchup. This is a huge game. This is one of those that is kind of, in your face and whatever you want to say. And I do believe that this is going to be one of those type of battles that's going to be very unique, very interesting, whatever you want to call it. So is there an upset possible, or is there a reason where maybe Kentucky wins? I mean, it's definitely there. There's no doubt about it. So at the end of the day, it's going to be a tight game. It's going to be a good battle. So I think Kentucky will some way, somehow eke it out at the end. But there's really nothing more to say. Anthony, I'll just give it to you. Or Mike Bullock, I'll give it to you.
Oh, that's all right, Fletch. Yeah, I mean, that's weird. I mean, Texas A&M is the favorite, but they're not ranked. But of course, Kentucky off to a 5-0 start, but and they're going to be tested going into that hostile environment at Kyle Field. So I can't believe I'm saying this, but you know what? Fletch just pulled off some upsets. Florio just pulled off one, and you know what? I'm gonna pull one off as well. I think Texas A&M will upset number 13 Kentucky. I think this is gonna be a close one. I'm gonna say 24-21. Texas A&M beats Kentucky. So I just give it to you, Florio.
Believe it or not, I'm actually gonna go with Bullock on this one. I'm going with A&M as well. I mean, call me crazy, but I am. Yes, Texas A&M played its worst game of the season last week, needing a fourth quarter touchdown to seal a 24-17 victory over Arkansas. Still, the Aggies allowed 2.1 yards a rush. If they can contain Kentucky star Benny Snell Jr., it'll be a good night in College Station. So, yes, Bullock, I agree with you. I'm going with A&M to win. I'm going 24-20. Actually, just a little off, 24-20. A&M over Kentucky. So moving on here, we got 6 games left. 7:30 kickoff on the SEC Network. The number 2 Made in Georgia Bulldogs at home at Sanford Stadium with the Hedges. They're going to be going up against the Commodores of Vanderbilt. This one will be over on the SEC Network, like I said, and Tom Hart, Jordan Rogers, and Cole Kubelik on the call. And moment here, Georgia opening up as 26.5-point favorites. Bullock right on cue. I think I know where you're going with this one.
Well, no problem with Vanderbilt, so I'm just going to give it to you, Florio.
Yeah. 2 straight weeks of mediocre defense is a huge concern for Vanderbilt as it enters its showdown with Georgia. The Bulldogs have meticulously broken down opponents with a diverse running game and efficient passing attack. Limit one, and Georgia can still win while riding the other. Georgia wins 34-16 over a game Vanderbilt team. We saw what they did to Notre Dame, didn't we? So nothing more to say. I mean, MF. I mean, we remember Vandy took Notre Dame to the limit. Can they take Maine and Georgia to the limit?
I mean, they'll make a game out of it. I don't think that they'll make it as exciting as it was with Notre Dame. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna go with the Made in Georgia Bulldogs to win. But this is going to be a tough game. I mean, I think Vandy's going to give them everything they got and then some. But at the end of the day, I just think it's just going to be enough that, it's going to be a victory for the Made in Georgia Bulldogs. So, Anthony, let's just move on.
7:30 kickoff on ESPN2. The number 8 Auburn Tigers squaring off against the Mississippi State Bulldogs at Davis-Wade Stadium at Scott Field over in Starkville. This one over on ESPN2 with Mark Jones, Dusty Dvoracek, and Molly McGrath on the sidelines. And let me see. Auburn opening up as 3.5 to 4-point favorites. A quarterback controversy could be brewing in Starkville, especially if starter Nick Fitzgerald can't propel the Bulldogs past Auburn. Drop passes haven't helped the senior, but he's searching for efficiency while preparing for the nation's number 15 defense. That's not an encouraging sign. I have nothing more to say on this. I'm going to park it here. Auburn will win. I got Auburn going over. My final score, 27-17. Auburn over Mississippi State. Nothing more to say. MF, is there a quarterback controversy in Starkville?
I don't know. Possibly. We'll wait and see. But I'm with you. I think Auburn's going to win the game, so I really got nothing more to say about that. So, Mike Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I quarterback controversy here, but we're just gonna have to wait and see. But either way, I got Auburn winning this one. I'm gonna say my final score is gonna be. I'm gonna go 30 to 17. It's gonna be my final score. So let's just move right along.
4 games left. This one 7:30 over on Fox. The number 10 Washington Huskies squaring off against the winless UCLA Bruins at the legendary Rose Bowl in Pasadena. We all know how much that place has, how much the Rose Bowl has a place in MF's heart. We all know how much he loves it. Like I said, this one's going to be on Fox. We got Brian Custer and Ben Lieber on the call. And it is Washington opening up as a 21 to 21.5 point favorite. MF, I mean, I know how much you love the Rose Bowl, but I'm afraid for the home team, this long season is going to get even longer. It's going to be a long night, especially with Browning and Gaskin coming in. Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah. Washington is a really good team. They're a powerful team. They're a team that a lot of people are keeping an eye on, guys. And no, at the end of the day, I'm going to go with Washington to win this one going away. So nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, I mean, I got Washington winning this one as well. I mean, the long season's going to continue for UCLA, and let's just say things aren't going to be quite rosy over there. And so let's just move right along, Florio.
UCLA ranks 119th in yards per play. Washington is 6th in yards allowed per snap. UCLA hasn't scored more than 21 points in a game. Washington hasn't given up more than 21. Got it? Good. Washington rolls 41 to 14. Nothing more to say. Let's move on to our next matchup. 3 to go. Our last 7:30 kickoff. This one on the Big Ten Network. The number 16 Wisconsin Badgers back home at Camp Randall Stadium in Madison, hosting another winless prominent school, Nebraska, the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Like I said, this one's on the Big Ten Network. We got Kevin Kugler and Jay Lehman. I think either Lisa Byington or Rick Pizzo will be the sideline reporter, I think, for that one. But nonetheless, Wisconsin opening up as 17 to 17.5 point favorites. I believe it's Bullock who starts this one off, correct? Yeah. So Bullock, I think we all know where we're going here. I mean, Wisconsin back home at Camp Randall, I think for the first time since that tough loss to BYU, a winless Nebraska team. I think that should help.
Yeah, I got Wisconsin winning this one, and let the hard times continue for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. So nothing more to say. Corey, what's yours?
The Cornhuskers scoring attack showed life in a 42 to 28 loss to Purdue last week, but only 7 defenses have surrendered more runs of 40-plus yards. Jonathan Taylor will break off a couple of big scampers and help Wisconsin ease past Nebraska. 38-21, Wisconsin over Nebraska. Nothing more to say. MF, your thoughts on Nebraska and Wisconsin?
I'm gonna go with Wisconsin as well. There's really nothing really there. Adam, like I said,
Scott Frost.
Scott Frost right now is really trying to do anything in his power to try to let the team know, hey, this is unacceptable, and calling his team out. Not a good situation going on at the very least. Horrible situation going on as a matter of fact. So at the end of the day, there's really nothing more to say. I'm going to go with you guys and say Wisconsin wins this one pretty handily. So, Anthony, on to the next one.
And it's our number 3 game of the week. It rounds out our top 3. And I get to start off, and it's only fitting because it's my team. The now number 6 Notre Dame Fighting Irish squaring off against the number 24 Virginia Tech Hokies at Lane Stadium in Blacksburg, Virginia. ABC Saturday night game of the week. You know who's working this one, of course. Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit, Maria Taylor. And Notre Dame opening up as a 7 to 7.5 point favorite. Kansas transfer quarterback Ryan Willis put together a sensational first start, but Notre Dame will provide a much bigger test. Unless the Hokies play a flawless defensive game, Willis needs to successfully push the ball downfield to beat the Irish like he did last week against Duke. While I'm not expecting it, that's the blueprint to handling a tough front seven from South Bend. So I got my team continuing their winning ways in this banner season for us, no doubt about it. Of course, the Hokies are going to give us a tough game, especially at Lane Stadium, without a doubt. But if Josh Jackson was still around, it would be even closer. But I think Notre Dame will pull away just enough. Give me the Irish in this one, 28-20. I mean, and keep the winning ways going for the Irish. So that's all I can say on that. So MF, I mean, Notre Dame coming off of that very impressive win over Stanford last Saturday night at Notre Dame Stadium. Can they keep it going at Lane Stadium Saturday night?
Absolutely. Yes, I agree. I think they will. It's not gonna be as easy as other matchups will be, but like you said, if this would have been a couple of years ago, maybe Notre Dame has themselves a little bit of some problems. But I think they're just too good. I mean, Winbush right now is looking really strong, playing great. So at the end of the day, yes, I agree. I think it's going to be a victory for Notre Dame. Nothing more to say. Bullock, is it yours? Yeah, it should be yours.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Bullock.
Yes. I gotta go with Notre Dame as well. I'm gonna say 31-24 is gonna be my final score. So, yep, there's only one game left.
Yes, there is, and I have to correct MF real quick. It's actually Ian Book who's now the play caller for Winbeck. He's now the quarterback. Brian Kelly started Ian Book over Brandon Wimbush, and I think that's done wonders for us, especially the last 2 weeks against Wake and Stanford. So, yeah, so that's it. So that's it. Let's move on to our final game of the night. 10:30 kickoff over on ESPN, what they call Pac-12 After Dark. The number 14 Stanford Cardinal at home at Stanford Stadium in Palo Alto, licking their wounds from the whooping that Notre Dame put on them last week. They're back at home. They're going to be hosting the Utah Utes. This one over on ESPN. We have Adam Amin, Rod Gilmore, and Quint Kessenich on the call. And it is Stanford opening up as 4.5 to 5 point favorites. So MF, started with you here. Stanford looking to bounce back after they hung with Notre Dame for a bit, but then Notre Dame fourth quarter, did they put a whooping?
Yep, they did. Look, it all lives and died by Bryce Love. When he does anything good, Stanford goes. If Love is hurt and not plays to the full potential, full whatever, then honestly they go down in flames. So if he plays great, then they'll be fine. But at the end of the day, I think they will bounce back. It was a bad loss. They'll bounce it back. Stanford wins. Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Stanford to win as well. I'm gonna say my final score is going to be 31-24. So, Florida, what's yours?
This game would be an upset special if Stanford had to go to Utah. However, the Cardinals are at home for this Pac-12 After Dark on ESPN clash. Although they'll likely be relatively quiet on the ground because Bryce Love is ailing and they're up against an elite run defense, the Cardinals should hold up against an unspectacular Utah passing attack. So I'm going to go with Stanford to win as well. My final score, 23-17, Stanford over Utah. So really nothing more to say. Let's move on to our newest power poll. And, man, I'll tell you, there will be some shakeups, let me tell you, especially in my power poll in particular. I mean, especially in my top three. Well, number one, staying put. But let's just say I've got it a little bit different than I've had it over the last few weeks, and we'll see what happens. So, nothing more to say. Let's start it off for me. Like I said, there are shakeups, mass shakeups. I'm starting it off at number 10 with the Washington Huskies. Jake Browning became Washington's all-time passing leader in a rout to BYU. It was the most complete performance of the season for the Huskies, who still have Pac-12 and playoff possibilities intact, even with that opening loss to Auburn. So Washington comes in at number 10. All right. Oh, okay. MF is out. He will not be on the show tomorrow night, so he'll be back on Monday night for Ridiculously Raw. Okay, fair enough. So
so why don't you take this, Florio, since I'll probably agree with you on everything.
Yeah, you probably will. You usually do. So yeah, no worries. Yeah, Washington comes in at 10. Number 9, West Virginia Mountaineers. Just when you thought Texas Tech was going to be a factor in the Big 12, Will Grier smacked down the Red Raiders. Murray and Grier, 17 passing touchdowns each. Should be neck and neck for the Heisman after the first month of this season. West Virginia comes in at number 9. Number 8, Auburn Tigers. For the first time in 6 years, the Tigers posted back-to-back rushing games under 100 yards. Auburn rushed for only 96 yards in a sluggish win over Southern Miss. You want ugly? There were 8 punts, a fumble, and a missed field goal by the Tigers. So Auburn comes in at number 8. Number 7, Oklahoma Sooners. The defense continues to be the biggest question after a 66-33 win over Baylor. In the last 2 games, the opposition has held the ball for 82 minutes, 68% of the time. Opposing teams have run twice as many plays, 188-94 in that span. When does the suspect defense begin to run out of gas? So Oklahoma comes in at number 7. Number 6, my team, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Brian Kelly played ping pong with media last Saturday regarding his starting quarterback. Come on, coach. If it isn't Ian Book, there are issues. Right now, there are a few with the Irish who are 5-0 for the 3rd time since 2012. So that puts Notre Dame at 6. Number 5, Clemson Tigers. The Tigers are a diminished team without Kelly Bryant. We know that now after the injury to Trevor Lawrence. Chase Bryce saved Clemson's bacon against Syracuse, but if he has to play for an extended time, the Tigers are in danger. So Clemson at 5. Number 4, Made in Georgia Bulldogs. Not sure if Coach Kirby Smart has developed a feature back. Not sure if Kirby Smart wants to develop a feature back. Elijah Holyfield and DeAndre Swift are part of a tailback by committee that has Georgia number 2 in SEC rushing. So Georgia's at number 4. Number 3, I got to drop LSU down from 2 to 3. Aside from Alabama, the Tigers may have had the most impressive first month of the season. Wins over 2 top 10 teams, the continued evolution of Joe Burrow, the increased credibility of Coach Ed Orgeron, the shutdown ability of the defense. November 3rd versus Alabama cannot come soon enough. So LSU is 3. A new number 2, and it's the Ohio State Buckeyes. The Buckeyes stayed in the playoff chase with one of the most meaningful wins of the season. Give them credit for rallying from 12 down with 8 minutes to go against Penn State and the magic that is Trace McSorley. Buckeyes are the best team in the Big Ten and second best team in the country. Only 2. Number 1, of course, your reigning and defending national champion Alabama Crimson Tide. Just another Saturday kicking college football's ass. I mean, after a 42-point thrashing of Louisiana, the Tide are winning by 41.5 points a game. They're 271 points through 5 games, and more than 67 Bama teams scored in entire seasons. Nick Saban's only issue is keeping Bryant-Denny Stadium filled for 4 quarters. So Bama closes it out at 1. So that will put a bow on this edition of College Football Thursday. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in. Of course, tomorrow night, NFL Friday, Bullock and myself will be running the show. MF will not be here, unfortunately, but it is what it is. So that goes down on Friday, and then of course we'll go back to our usual routine: Monday night Ridiculously Raw, Cerebral Smack Talk, and then another College Football Thursday next week. So that pretty much takes care of that. So until tomorrow night for NFL Friday, it's Anthony Florio here for Michael Bullock, and in spirit, good old MF Michael Fletcher, D.D. Woodson, Derek Ferreira. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed day tomorrow. And Before we go, I do want to address. We got a big week next week. I just looked at the schedule for next week, and we got another. We got. I see four huge games next week. Next week, the game of the week, without a doubt, it's Georgia against LSU. There's your game of the week right there. I don't care what anybody says. You've also got Wisconsin against Michigan. You've also got Washington against Oregon, Michigan State against Penn State. 4 huge games next week, and that's going to be awesome. So cannot wait to talk about all that next week. So now, Anthony Floyo here for Michael Bullock and in spirit, MF, Didi, and Derek. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up, Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Friday. And until tomorrow night for NFL Friday, you've been watching Strictly Sports, College Football Thursday, right here on the Tone 25 and YouTube.com. For everybody who's been a part of this one, for now, Floyo, so long. Bye, everybody. Bye.